a truck. Whole team chasing bags while they chasing us. Calling audible, I read the game, I think it's time to switch. You get hit, if I miss, then my teammates got the blitz, yeah. Move the chains, I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get about the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains. Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you wanna give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver. I'm a believer. Someone better kick my fever. Tell me it's 100 degrees underneath my whole flesh. Everyone tells me it's a bit of a mess. Someone tell the risk I was never at the end. I would never get it off my chest. No, I'm forgetful. Someone better tell me I was always on the edge. Overstay your bearings, I would never underestimate. Oh, barely my face are off. Everything was better off. Oh, barely my face are off. Everything was better off. Take your eyes off me, don't want to see me when I'm gone. Moral of the story was you're wrong. Everything I gave and everything I lost. Good things come at a cost. I left it on your head, and when you ever overstated your thoughts are never everything you wanted when you want. I'ma take it in the head with the sign of the distort. I'ma leave it on the side. You on the Christ when I brand on this set. Let me.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sport.
Well, the onset of fall weather, Coach, certainly a welcome occurrence for folks in Silicon Valley, and we've got football on a gorgeous day here in Santa Clara as we are situated at Levi's Stadium. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Carolina Panthers and the San Francisco 49ers. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25.
Let's go. Down. 60 or. Check. Deep grip.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Here's Greer. And that is incomplete.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Here comes Pettis on the return. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
21.
A first carry for the former Falcon, Tevin Coleman. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down. Well, remember, Tevin Coleman was in the two-headed backfield in Atlanta during his 4 years there, along with Devontae Freeman. Now he joins a crowded backfield in San Francisco. But in Atlanta, he played under offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, and then, of course, Shanahan becomes a 49er head coach, and he made it a point to go out and snag his former running back, as he really likes his 26-year-old ball carrier. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Yeah, good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, as he can really impact this offense. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They come into this one ranked number 17, so just starting the bottom half of the league against the pass.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
18 yards, first down Niners.
Here we go.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 34. Garoppolo looks to throw once more. Over the middle to Kittle, complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. On second down, it's Coleman. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
We all have habits. They can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, deep. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. The man wreaking havoc there, Gerald McCoy, the D tackle. He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
CD, you know there were quite a few Bears fans back in January saying, why didn't we hold on to that Robbie Gould guy?
Well, it's a legitimate question. 33 of 34 for San Francisco 2018. The crazy stat of the year, he missed more extra points, 2, than he did field goals, 1, in the 2018 season.
Greer and the Panthers set to go 1st and 10 at their own 21. A first carry for Christian McCaffrey, who made his first Pro Bowl last year. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
On second down, McCaffrey. He won't go down. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Greer. This is caught. It's Greg Olsen. 13 yards, first down, Panthers.
Yeah, Greg Olsen's back for his 13th NFL season. The last 9 have been in a Panthers uniform. Only 9 games for him a year ago, 7 the season before due to injuries. But when healthy, 1,000-yard receiver in 2014, 15, and 16.
A gain of 3, second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. Up front. The struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys and continue to get upfield. and find a way.
Well, now Greer, he fumbled the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. And after the sack, he's still down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Pilardi now on to punt as he sends this one away.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
They begin the drive with Coleman. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And they'll get him down right around the 11-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Here we go.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Garoppolo. Open man is Pettis. It's complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a 1st down. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. They'll run with Coleman on 1st down. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
This is Coleman. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
You have to give big-time credit to the cornerback on that play. Most of them like to just sit back and say, I'm playing pass. But he diagnosed that play so fast and got into the backfield for a loss of yardage. That's a monster play by a corner.
Now Garoppolo. Able to haul it in is Kittle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the 1st down in the process.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. To throw, it's Garoppolo. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 21. Well, Pettis is quickly becoming the #1 receiving option for Jimmy Garoppolo. In the last year, John Lynch said that they loved the way he closed the season, really came on late. Remember, this is a guy that they traded up to get at number 44 back in 2018 out of the University of Washington. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. Dancing to his left. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Jordan Matthews, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd and short.
Terrific coverage in the end zone that time. Forced him out of the pocket to his right. I thought maybe try and run it there, but no one came open for him. Nice job by the defense of not getting out of their lanes.
Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. K1 short. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. And, Charles, they only needed a yard there. They try to pass the football. What do you think?
Well, I can't really go all out and kill them for the call because that 3rd and 1 fake and throw it over the the top for a big play. That often does work, but in this situation, the pressure got to him.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. A reminder, later tonight, Sunday Night Football, will see a game in the NFL 100 Series, a rematch of the very first AFL-NFL Championship game, later, of course, known as Super Bowl I. It pits the Packers against the Chiefs from Arrowhead, and that should be a fun one. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Now Hundley. This will be his first throw off the bench. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player, not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
DJ Moore went through some ups and downs his rookie season, but really came on strong late in the year. Finished with 55 catches, the most among Panthers not named Christian McCaffrey. And now with Devin Funchess gone to Indianapolis, he's going to be the true WR1 for the Panthers.
Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him? Either fellow receivers or offensive linemen. That makes that play a really nice timing play. And sometimes it can break big.
It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a 3rd down. The Panthers on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 20-yard line.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now Hundley looking for the out route, and he's got more. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. The Panthers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Throwing Hundley. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of 6s back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2 for 1. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long. Looking to throw. Garoppolo. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. That last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a third and long. On third and long, it's Garoppolo escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Tavarius Moore. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1.
Here we go. 180!
Garoppolo on first down. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
To throw once more on second and 10. Garoppolo. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play.
Here we go. 180! Clock! Hey, gun.
54. It's our time.
Hey, come on.
Garoppolo again. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. So if you like field goals, well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. This is fielded a couple yards deep.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Garoppolo going to hand this one to Coleman. And he's got room. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Coleman now. He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. McKinnon, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
On 2nd and 9, Hundley. And to the tight end, Olsen, right side. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll be 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
A good return there, 17 yards. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To throw is Garoppolo. Being chased out left. And he'll go out of bounds, it appears, right at the 45.
Holding offense.
Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding goal.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Garoppolo looks to throw, and Matthews has it right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Throwing now is Garoppolo. And Matthews over the middle with a grab. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. Coleman has it here right side. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Garoppolo in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards.
Let's go, D.
They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Marquise Goodwin with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now a run with McCaffrey. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. On the return is Pettis. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here are the Niners to take over on offense. Their win streak at 6 coming in and counting as they've got the lead right now, beginning this drive 1st and 10. And the drive starts with a handoff to Coleman. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. He's going to rifle one deep left side. That's caught inside the 20. And he's going to get this deep on the Carolina side of the field. Garoppolo able to find Goodwin for a big one. 51 yards. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the 4th and final quarter.
Mike, here we go. 180! 21. Here we go.
On 1st down, Coleman. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Here's Coleman. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it. And the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up.
The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. K1 short in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
There's Garoppolo to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. A heck of a play there on third down, but amazingly, they're still short for fourth. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era when we think about sportsmanship and all that. All we think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control.
Now a hit and a loose football. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. We'll check on his status when we get back. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. They'll set up to throw. Greg Olsen was the intended target, but it's going to be 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
2nd and 5 now. Hundley. It's hauled in by Torrey Smith. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10. Hundley now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now back to throw. Smith catches left side. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he finds a man. It's McCaffrey. A 3-yard gain and enough for the 1st down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Christian McCaffrey, last year's catch leader among running backs, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Whip. Watch the whip.
Now a draw play to McCaffrey. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
He'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the 1st by a few yards. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. Oh, they go with a tight end carry. And he's able to get the 1st before he's taken down at the 36. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Good spot on the field to go for it. Kind of no man's land, as they call it, and it worked out.
Yeah, they call it no man's land because your punter's telling you it's too short. I'm just going to punt it into the end zone. Your field goal kicker might give you...
The ball's out. McCaffrey lost it. Well, they're going to take over right there at at the 22-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their own 22. They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. And now a fumble. The ball's out, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
In today's NFL, most teams don't have as many goals for the game like we used to have, where you checked off your boxes. But 0 turnovers, that's a good.
They don't want it. After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Here we go.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
You ain't got nothing.
And they'll take a knee as the clock ticks down toward 50 seconds to go.
Here we go. Check.
And they take a knee.
Here we go.
So the victory here for San Francisco, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it's just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Niners, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.